Hi, it's Kelly with Coffee Cups and Books, and today we're going to go over part 2 of series I need to finish. I'm hoping there's not going to be a part 3, but there might be. I need to go through my books some more and see how many series I need to finish. Now, to be on this list, well, first, coffee cup of the day. Let's do the coffee cup of the day. Okay, this is one that I got at Starbucks. I don't know if you could tell, but it's iridescent and it's really pretty. So we think it might be seaweed. We're not sure, but because I asked my husband, I was like, are these waves? Is it seaweed? I think it might be seaweed just because it's kind of greenish. But anyway, I like the iridescence of it. It's very pretty. And I just noticed the price tag is still. Anyway, so to be on this list, it has to be a series that I have started. Okay. It has to be a series that is finished. So The Burning won't be on here and Nevermore won't be on here because they're not finished yet. And it has to be a series that I have at least one of the books. And it has to be a series that I actually want to finish. I have started series that I have no desire to finish. But to be on this list are ones that I want to finish, that are finished, and that I own at least one of the books of. So let's go ahead and get started. And duologies count because this first one is part of a duology, and that is the Dread Nation duology by Justina Ireland. I own both Dread Nation and its sequel, Deathless Divide. I've only read Dread Nation. Now, because I own both, there's no reason for me not to have read both, but here we go. This is an alternate Civil War timeline in which zombies, or as they're called in this series, shamblers, they exist. And Indigenous and Black people, young people, are sent to like training camps or training schools to learn how to kill the shamblers to protect rich white people. And so we follow Jane and her story as she's about to graduate from one of these schools. She is very feisty and strong and opinionated, and I love that about her. She is not scared of a fight, and I really like that. I really enjoyed this when I read it, and so I need to read The Deathless Divide, but I haven't yet. You're going to hear that a lot in here. I need to finish it, but I haven't. You probably heard that a lot in part 1 too. So yeah, I filmed part 1. That went up in July. This is going up in August. So yeah, maybe by then I've read some of those, but I doubt it. They're in part 1. But anyway, Dread Nation by Justina Ireland. So I'm really interested in finishing it. And I like what it says here, the tagline, Rise Up. It's pretty cool. See, the second book I have, or the second series, I did it a lot in part 1 too, is the Fruits Basket Collector's Edition. There are 12 books, 12 collector's editions, and I own all 12. I have read the first 7. Now it originally came out in like smaller, like this is a bind up. So each one of these is a bind up, and there's 12 of these. My husband introduced me to Fruits Basket, and I really liked it. So I'd watched the anime and thought it was so fun. And then I was like, wait, there's a manga? It's based on a manga? I was very much an anime manga newbie. I still am. But my husband is not. And so he introduced me to some. And so when I was like, what? There's manga? I want to read it. And so when it came out with these really pretty collector's editions, I'm like, yep, time to buy them. This follows the Soma family. They are a rich and powerful family, and some of them are cursed. When they are hugged by a member of the opposite gender, they turn into an animal of the Chinese zodiac, like a horse, a cow, things like that. And so this is Toru Honda. Some of the members of the family meet her, and she changes their life in all kinds of ways. And I've talked about this before, but Toru is just a sweet, sweet girl. And like, I wish I was more like her. Just very sweet and kind and just very giving and always thinks of others first. So yeah, I can't wait to finish it. I only have 5 more, and they're not long. Like, they are thick, but they're mangas, so they're not a long read. You can finish one in a day, no problem. So I really need to do that. Just haven't yet. Next series is the Emily Wilde series by Heather Fawcett. Now, this is the first in a trilogy. I believe it's finished. I believe it's just going to be a trilogy. I own and have read the first two. I need to get the third one. I'm just waiting because I have the first two in paperback and the third one is still in hardback, so I'm waiting for it to come out in paperback so it matches. I like my series to match. It's about Emily Wilde, who is a Cambridge professor, and she studies fairies, and she is writing an encyclopedia of fairies. And so she travels to a small village to do some research. And while she's there, she encounters her colleague, Wendell Bambleby. And he infuriates her, but in a good way. And so it's just about them and getting to know each other and the romance, and it's just cute, and I really like it. It's a very fun and cozy book. I like cozy, and so this definitely hits that. Just a little cozy, cute little romance fantasy. So yeah. Anyway, if you haven't read them, I highly recommend it. It's very cute. So yeah, hopefully when the third one comes out in paperback, I'll buy it and I'll actually read it. We'll see. Yeah, I'm not gonna put all my eggs in that basket. The next one is the Faithful and the Fallen series. The first book is Malice, and it's by John Gwynne. It's a 4-book series. I own all 4. I've read the first 2. I need to get to this. They are thick, though. They're all very thick. So, which is part of the reason I haven't. Ruin, the 3rd book in the series, is on my 25 books to read in 2025. So I'm hoping to get to it in the second half of the year. Now, this series, there's a war going on, and then there's the Black Sun and the Bright Star, and no one knows who they are, and it's like good versus evil. In this first book particularly, we follow Corbin, who is about to he's doing a rite of passage to become a man, and he wants to serve as king. And so all kinds of stuff happens, and we follow different characters. This is not a series that I can listen to. I have to read this physically because I have to be able to turn back and say, who is that person again? Oh wait, what did they do? Because there's so many characters and so many things happening and so many side characters, and yeah, I can't keep track of it. So I personally need to read these physically. So, which is another reason why I haven't read Ruin yet. It's because I do a lot of audiobook listening, like on my way to work and back. But yes, I need to read this with my eyes. There's no way I can do it. If you can listen to these and have no problems, you have more brain power than I do. Because I can't do it. But anyway, the first 2 are excellent. John Gwynne knows how to write fantasy, that's for sure. And I can't wait to finish the series and move on with his other series because he has more. And I may or may not own them. But they're not on this list because I haven't started them. So, yay! We're going to pretend that's a win. We're going to pretend that is a win. The next series is the Greenbone Saga. The first one is Jade City. I read this in July. And as you saw from my July wrap up, I loved it. I really enjoyed this book a lot. I liked it more than I thought I would. I didn't think I would be into like crime families, but apparently I am. I really like this a lot. And I own all 3 in this trilogy. I know there's a couple of novellas or short stories. I don't own those, but I'll probably buy them on Kindle so I can read them there. Because I don't know if they actually... I don't know if you can read them physically or not. Like this. I don't know. They could be just ebook. I need to check that out. But yeah, there's different clans in the city of Janloon, and they control Jade. And the clans, these 2 big clans, are basically at odds with one another. And if you are, some people can use Jade. They can wear it, and it gives them better strength and speed and all these different like powers. And yeah, and they're called green bones. There are people who cannot use Jade. They can't even touch it. It'll give them the itches and they'll go insane. And so, yeah, these two big clans are at odds with one another. And there's a lot of like fights, and yeah, it does get kind of gruesome at parts. It is very real. as to what fights between green bones would look like, people with enhanced speed and strength and things like that. Yeah, there are times I was like, oh, ooh, that's oof, because I'm kind of a wimp when it comes to things like that. But this really was a great book. If you can handle that, or maybe like skim over the battle scenes, if you can't, I highly recommend this. It's really good, and I love the characters. Fonda Lee pulls no punches. Pulls no punches. She did something in this book that I was not expecting, and I was like, "Wait, what?" I actually texted Ian from Ian the Reader, and I was like, "Wait, but I blah 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 blah." Spoiler, and he was like, "Yeah." So because she pulls no punches, I know the next 2 books are going to be filled with things that I was not expecting to happen. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really want to read the next 2. They are also thick books. I don't know if I'm going to get to both of them this year. I would like to, but obviously I have a problem with finishing series if this is the second video in which I'm talking about series I have not finished yet. So, and perhaps a third will be coming. I don't know. I need to look. Hopefully not. The next is a duology, and it is the Earthseed duology, and the first book is Parable of the Sower, and it's by Octavia E. Butler. I read this, I believe it was last year. I think Ian and I buddy read this, and we both really liked it. I really liked this book. I thought it's really interesting. It takes place in, I think, in 2024, right? Yes, in 2024 around Los Angeles, and America has just gone downhill with like climate change and different things like that. She and her family, Lauren and her family, live in a safe compound outside of Los Angeles, but something happens to the compound and it becomes destroyed, and so she begins walking north, and as she walks she ends up traveling with other people. Other people start walking with her. She suffers from, it says, hyper empathy, which means she can feel other people's emotions, and it's like debilitating to her sometimes. And yeah, and then it deals with her dealing with that. And I can't imagine what that'd be like in a world that was so messed up, where it's like dystopian, you know? And yeah, and just trying to find people and walk with people, and everyone you meet is hurting badly. So yeah, I thought it was excellent. I like Octavia E. Butler. All the books I've read from her, I've enjoyed, and I want to read more. So I believe the second one is The Parable of the Talents, and I'd like to read that one. I don't own it. I only own this one, but eventually I will get it. So, because I want to read it. The next is the Cemetery Forgotten Books series by Carlos Ruiz Zafón. I'm hoping I'm saying that right. The first one is The Shadow of the Wind. I read this a couple of years ago. 5 stars. 5 stars. I loved it. I thought it was beautifully written. I can't even imagine. Like, wow. And it was translated too. So, which is amazing. So I can't even imagine what it was like in the original language. I believe that, yeah, the original language was Spanish. I looked up, I wanted to include, it was translated by, because translators deserve credit too, Lucia Graves. So, yeah. Now, I don't know if each book, there are 4 books in this series. I've owned the first 2. I've only read this one. The Angel's Game is on my 25 to read in 2025 list. I don't know if each book in the series, like if the second one continues with this or it follows a different character, or if it's just in the same world. I'm not sure. But this first one follows Daniel, and his father takes him to the Cemetery of Forgotten Books, and he picks out a book by Julian Carax. I'm not sure how to say that. And he just loves it. It brings him so much comfort and joy. And he wants to read more books by this author, but he can't find any. And he soon realizes that someone is finding all the books by this author and destroying them. And then he finds out that they want his copy too, that they want his book to destroy it. And he absolutely does not want that to happen. So it definitely takes you for a ride, a little bit of one. It's not like too crazy from what I remember. There are some parts where you're like, oh gosh, oh, that hurts my heart. Yes, this book will definitely make you feel feels. But I really enjoyed it, and I want to continue the series. I've heard that one of the books is about Fermín, And Fermin is one of my favorite characters in this book, so I'm looking forward to it. I don't think it's number 2, The Angel's Game. I think it might be number 3. I'm not sure. But yeah. So anyway, I need to continue with the series, especially since the second book's on my 25 to read in 2025. Will it happen? Place your bets below. Yeah. As you can see, I'm not betting yes. Not because I don't want to. I obviously do. But because I know myself. And there's so many other books. I'm looking at the books I hauled in July going, ooh, I want to read all those. Yeah. The next book is, so far, there's only 2 books in this series, according to Goodreads. I don't know if there's going to be more, but right now, there's just the 2. So I'm going to include it. And this is the Rita Todachine series by Ramona Emerson. I read the first book, Shutter, and I really liked it. I thought it was really good. I won this in a Goodreads giveaway, actually. So, yeah. This follows Rita, who is a crime scene photographer for the Albuquerque, New Mexico police force. Part of the reason why I wore my New Mexico State t-shirt. This is where I went to college, but this is in Las Cruces, which is south of Albuquerque. So, yeah. Anyway, and Rita is special because she can see and hear dead people, and which I think is such a weird thing to have as a crime scene photographer, but she does it. And because of her, because she can do this, she is followed by a spirit, I guess, by one of these dead people who is like, I'm going to haunt you until you solve my murder, till you bring my murderer to justice. And so Rita is trying to figure out how to do that and solve this mystery. So because Rita is indigenous, and because of that, her job is at odds with her people's beliefs. And so she navigates that through her family and her sense of self with her desire to do this job and bring justice to these dead people. So I really like this. This book, though, there are parts when I was like, oh my gosh, because it describes crime scenes. And that's not normally something I read because I am very wimpy when it comes to things like that. But I did enjoy this book and I liked what it was saying. So I was like, okay, I can do this. And so I would kind of skim over a little bit. But yes, so this book, if you can handle crime scenes, then I would suggest this book. I really liked it. And like I said, I wanted a Goodreads giveaway. So I thought, yeah, let's read it. It sounds interesting. So I want to read the next one. I don't own it. This is the only one I own. But I need to buy it so I can read it eventually. So anyway, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if there's more coming in the series. It's just these 2 in Goodreads. And that's why I went ahead and included it on this list. Because as of right now, it's finished. I don't know. So we'll see. Okay. The next series I want to talk about is the, sorry if you can hear my birds, Neapolitan novel series by Elena Ferrante. There are 4 books in this series. I only own this one, and I've only read this one, but I really liked it a lot. It deals with 2 friends, Elena and Leila, who live in Naples in the 1950s, and it deals with their friendship, the ups and downs of it as they grow up and go from childhood to adolescence to early adulthood, and how their friendship and everything changes because of that. This book, wow, it is beautifully written. And like I said, this is also another translated book. It's translated from Italian. So I'm like, wow, I can't even imagine what the Italian version is like. It says it was translated by Anne Goldstein. So there you go. But yeah, if the English version of this is so beautiful, I can't even imagine what the Italian version is like. So I'm very jealous of people who can read Italian and so can read this in its original language. But I do want to continue with the series. I really like this. I want to get all of the series in this same format by the Europa editions because I really like it a lot and I like my books to match. So yeah, hopefully one day One day. And the last book, the last series on this list is actually, I don't own it physically, but I own it in ebook format. And that is the Reckoner series by Brandon Sanderson. The first one is Steelheart. There are 4 books in the series and 1 novella. Now, when I first started reading it, there were only 3 books in the series. But then he released Lux. And I don't know if it's really part of the series because when you look on it on Goodreads, it says Texas Reckoners, book 1. So it might be adjacent to the Reckoner series. Like it deals with the same world, but I don't think it's part of the original. So we'll see. So anyway, I'm counting this as finished. So I'm not going to count the Lux. Because to me, I'm going to say that's a separate series. Like a new arc, if you say. I own all 3 books and the novella on my Kindle. I've read book 1, Steelheart, and the novella, Mitosis. I liked it. It's kind of sci-fi-ish. It's not really fantasy. What happens is there's a thing called Calamity, and it burst in like 10 years prior to like this book. 10 years prior to Steelheart. And because of this, like it's in the sky. It's like this sun type thing, but it's made things dark. And because of this, certain people, like different people have developed different superhuman powers, like varied, like in like what you would see in Marvel, like different powers. And they're called epics. However, they're not Superman and they're not Captain America. Like they're not good. They're villains pretty much. They're all villains. They're all power hungry and they're all willing to destroy and to kill to get what they want. And so this Steelheart follows David. I knew it started with a D. Steelheart follows David, whose father was murdered by Steelheart. And Steelheart owns pretty much, he rules New Chicago, which is like New Chicago. And so David is out for revenge because his dad was trying to do the right thing. His dad was a good guy. And Steelheart just murdered him. So yeah, David's out for blood now. He wants to destroy the epics. And so this is his, like, when he meets, there are a group of people who, the Reckoners, who want to take out the epics. And so he joins up, he meets some of them and wants to join up with them. And it goes over that. So anyway, I liked him. It's not Brandon Sanderson's best work, but it's still really good. I think they're YA, so they are written a little bit younger. But I do like them a lot, and I do want to finish the other 2 in the series, and maybe eventually get to Lux, but we'll see. I mean, I don't want to get ahead of myself. So I want to finish that, and like I said, I own them all on my Kindle, so there's no reason for me not to. I can take them with me wherever I go. So yeah, that's 10 books. 10 series that I need to finish. I'm thinking about doing series September, in which I just read nothing but series that I have started and try to finish them out, or at least get further into them. I thought of that when I was filming the first video about series I need to finish. And I was like, I really need to finish these series. So I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do series September and just knock them out. Hopefully I will be back in school. School will be in session. So how much reading I'll get done that month, I'm not sure, but I'd at least like to finish a few series. That'd be nice. So leave in the comments below if you've read any of these series and which series you think I should prioritize. Which series you think I need to read in series September? Will you be doing series September? Will you be reading it? Anyway, please like and subscribe. I post videos every Monday and Thursday. And remember, life is too short to drink bad coffee, so don't do it. Bye!